All right, we're continuing our countdown to Cork City's FAI Cup final against Shamrock Rovers on the 9th of November in the Aviva Stadium. Delighted to be joined by a man who has lifted the FAI Cup for Cork City. That was back in 1998, and it was his header that was the difference in the replay against Shelbourne. Cork City legend, Mr. Derek Coughlan. Derek, how are you, buddy?
Hi, Rowan. How are you, boy? Glad to be
Good.
here with you. It's
Good.
obviously a happy occasion when you get me out of the cupboard to chat to you.
Yeah, it's always like around the cup finals. Yeah, we'll get Derek on there to talk about the cup final, so it's always good to have you on, buddy. It's always
I
good
know
to have you on. Just before we
it's a
get
big
into
subject.
just before we get into 98 and all that, I just want to talk about the Cork City women's under 17s getting to the cup final against Shamrock Rovers. Put in an excellent performance, just came up short, but I think all the girls can hold their heads up high based on their performance that day, Derek.
Yeah, they were outstanding, Rory. They were up against a really strong group of players. That Shamrock Rovers team have 16 current internationals, I think, on it. So it was a big challenge for them. But I'm so happy that they were able to bring their best selves on the day. And they ran them till the very end. We were pushing towards the end to get an equaliser to bring it to extra time, but it just wouldn't happen for us. But the girls were fantastic. They learned so much, I think, from it, and I know this is hard to say, but they probably learn more from not winning it than winning it in the long run at their age. A lot of the girls only just turned 15, one of them still 14, so they're a young side, and to do so well against the caliber of team opponent they were up against, I think they'll take huge learnings from it.
Yeah, I know it's obviously disappointing losing the cup, but like, have they be able to reflect on their achievements in getting to the final and putting it up to such a strong Shamrock Rovers team?
Yeah, I think so. And I suppose before going into when we played Shells in the semi-final, we really concentrated on the silver medal aspect of beating Shells in the semi. That if they beat that, who are another very really strong team. So we kind of concentrated on securing that silver medal for the against Shells, and if we got to change it for a gold on the day, that was the plan. But I suppose once the whistle ended, they wore the silver medals with pride as well, which is something I love. I don't think we do it enough in football. Like we talk about runners up and stuff, and especially at that age, to win a silver medal against the top footballers, the most played sport in this country, it's a massive achievement. So straight away, I think they realised they were after putting it up to that Shamrock Rovers team, and I think they knew from the minute the whistle ended that they were after putting up a good fight, and they were proud of their performance.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully, the senior men's side now can go on and put up a good fight against Shamrock Rovers this coming Sunday. Derek, it's been a tough season, I suppose, for Cork City with the relegation, but getting to a cup final, it's 90 minutes. Anything can happen. There's no reason why they can't go on and beat Shamrock Rovers up in the Aviva Stadium.
Yeah, as you say, cup final, it changes it. There's so much at stake for 90 minutes, whereas league matches, it's spread out that I suppose the reward system isn't there after a game. Yeah, you get your 3 points, but when it comes to cup final, it's all rolled into one. The joy, the disappointment, everything comes from that final whistle. And when it comes to cup finals, it's about. I think a lot of the time it's about who wants it most, who's organised enough. Sometimes those games they don't flow like a normal game would, a normal meeting between Shamrock Rovers and Cork City. Say when it comes to cup final, because of so much at stake, it can just change the dynamic of the game, and it can make the favourites tentative, and it can boost the underdogs,
Mm.
which Cork City will be going into it. So yeah, I think that if we're structured, if we have a full complement of players on the day, I think we've a chance.
Yeah, and like we saw how good City were in that semi-final against St. Pat's at Turner's Cross. The place was hopping. Sean Maguire was electric, and the tactics were spot on. So it just shows that Cork City have that in their locker, and they are capable of putting it up to much more fancy teams.
Yeah, but I think we need even to go another gear again from that semi-final. I don't think St. Pat's showed up that well on the day. I didn't think the Forrester and Lennon in the middle didn't play particularly well. Blavatsky at the back. But saying that, we stopped them from playing well too, and we're going to
Yeah.
have to do that side of it in the Aviva. But again, we have a bigger pitch, a better team in Shamrock Rovers. So even if we replicate what we did in the semi-final, I don't know will it be enough. But that's not saying we can't just step it up that other gear, because I think we haven't really found the gears all year this year. So if we can crack it in the couple of weeks between now and the cup final, um, I think we have a great chance of kicking into that extra gear, but we're going to need another gear to knock this excellent Shamrock Rovers team off the pedestal, you know.
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But we're going to talk now about 98 and an incredible day up in Dalymount Park. The replay as Cork City beat Shelbourne by 1-0. Your tremendous header from Kelvin Flanagan's corner. How often are you asked about that, Derek, especially in the run up to a Cork City Cup final?
Yeah, it's great. It never leaves me, Roar, which is fantastic. It's something I suppose when I did get that header on the day, I didn't realize how much it was going to bring to my life. You know, the little knock-on effects that it has had all through my career and beyond my career afterwards. Even I suppose working in football, it's been a big friend to me the whole way getting that goal. You know, and people bring it up an awful lot, and I'm always delighted to talk about it. You know, it's great when you hear some fella saying either that he had a few bob on a bet, goal scorer, or I was on my dad's shoulders. I was five, and yeah, it can make you feel old, but I suppose it's something that never leaves you, and it's something I'm very proud to be able to associate myself with was scoring a goal for Cork City in a cup final. You know, and it's something that you probably dream of as a kid growing up, the Roy the Rovers element where you're dreaming of scoring a winner in a big game like that. And lucky enough, Kelvin put a great cross in that day, and we managed to hold out then for the next 20 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. What's that buzz like though? What's that feeling like? You just hit the back and net the cup final for your hometown team and you're standing in front of thousands of Cork City fans who are absolutely screaming and going crazy.
I think that the minute that I scored it, I think I ran straight to the fence, and the rest of the team came with me. And I remember clinging onto the fence with all the Cork City fans, and there was people climbing off on my back, but the players were jumping on my back. And I remember just when the celebration stopped after maybe 30 seconds or whatever it was, I remember just getting an adrenaline dump. You know, it
Yeah.
was you get this rush of adrenaline flows through your body after scoring a goal like that. And I remember jogging back to my half next to Decky Daly, who was straight away he was getting on to me to concentrate for the next play. And I remember having this moment where I felt, geez, I don't know, can I play on? I'm so wiped after the emotions of scoring the goal. But I remember just saying, okay, we need to hold out here for 20 minutes now and not let them score and make this the goal that wins our first FAI Cup, you know.
You look at the talent, Derek, in that squad and the players that are in that squad, some incredible names in that team and just some huge personalities as well, but also just massive footballers on the pitch.
Yeah, would you be like, Roy? I just found this up in my mum's attic. I don't know, can you see that there? Is it blurry?
It's a bit blurry, all right, yeah.
It's blurry, but yeah, it has the names of all the players in the
Ah,
back.
class, yeah, yeah. I see,
Some
yeah.
t-shirt that was made at the time, you know. So I
Unreal.
only spotted it yesterday, and yeah, it is the players that when you go through the names like you've Noel Mooney, Fergie O'Donoghue, Declan Daly, myself,
Yeah,
Derek Coughlan, John Caulfield, Kevin Flanagan, Patsy Frayne, Dave Hill, Ollie Cahill, Noel Hartigan, Johnny Glynn, Philip Long, Liam Murphy, John Cotter, and obviously Dave Barry was the manager, you know. So some amazing players there, and I suppose for me, I'd been back a couple of years at that stage with Cork City, say from Brighton, and that them players they hadn't won a cup.
yeah.
So I think when we did win it, it was extra special because a lot of them were coming towards the end of their career as well, and I suppose it was what they all deserved was that cup medal in their collection, you know. And I think that was the great thing that side actually won the cup, you know, and that was the really satisfying part of it that those great players got to enjoy that, you know.
You'll have to wear that t-shirt to the cup final, Derek.
Yeah, I spotted two of them. There's actually one, I think it's from the first game. There was one obviously made for the first game, and there was one obviously made then after the match, after the second game, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hadn't been touched. I don't think they've even been washed. It was just in a bag in the attic for all this time, you know. So nice find.
Yeah, I know we talked about the replay an awful lot, but the first game was obviously a draw. Not exactly the greatest game in the world, Derek, was it?
No, but again, I don't think cup finals usually are, you know. And everyone, when you go into a cup final, I think you're going in there where you don't want to make a mistake to
Yeah.
lose. You know, obviously in the league, you've got the following week maybe to make up if things go wrong in a game. You've the following week, the week after that to put things right. You know, but when it comes to a cup final, it's all in. You know, so I think a lot of the time you'll see teams that they'll just set up maybe and not to make mistakes, and as the game goes, trying to play yourself into the game. Then, so yeah, that first game there wasn't much happened. And I remember, I think I came. I put the ball from a corner. I think I headed about maybe 2 or 3 feet over the bar, and I remember all week thinking, okay, I'm going to score next week. Even just by getting a chance in the first game, it kind of planted a seed in my head that I felt I was going to score. Even though I didn't head it that well, I blazed it 2 or 3 feet over. But I had a feeling in the lead up to the replay that I might be able to get my head on another chance. So yeah, the first game wasn't great, but again, there was massive crowd came up the first match and another big crowd for the replay. So I think it nearly prolonged the anticipation. Not winning it on the first day prolonged it for the replay on the second week.
You had the reunion 2 years ago at the Cup final at the Aviva to mark 25 years of it. How good was it to have all the lads together back in the room and see everyone again?
Yeah, it was amazing, Rory, because as you know, in life these days, people are busy and we don't get to meet up as often as we'd like to. We only just were chatting in our own group WhatsApp the other day about meeting up at Christmas time. So when we met 2 years ago, it was fantastic. We stayed up there. Obviously, they looked after us, the FAI with the Jubilee team. They really look after you, and we got lovely medals to mark it as well. The Jubilee team, but it was just meeting up with those amazing players, those amazing humans, just being together again. And I suppose when you're with a group like that, when you're playing in sport and you're playing at the highest level in the country like that, and you go and win something, when you win either the league or a cup, there's a kind of there's a brotherhood nearly attached to it. Then
Mm.
you've like soldiered together and you've come back with the prize, and it creates that bond. Same with the 2005 team and when we met recently for Forest for the
Yeah.
20th anniversary of that league winning team. There's just a bond there that's unbreakable when you go to battle with your teammates and you come home with the goods. There's something special about when you meet up and then I suppose going up to the Aviva was a couple of years after COVID ended, and we all know how the League of Ireland has taken off since then. So for the current Cork City team, it's going to be a special occasion. Those cup finals now are really, really big occasions in the calendar, and we could have 20, 15, 20,000 Cork fans up,
Yeah.
up at it. So, um, yeah, I think for the lads, it's a really massive opportunity for them to put their name in lights, and maybe soften the season next year for us if we are cup champions and then we have maybe Europe to look forward to. At least that takes the edge off being in the first division. So it's a huge opportunity for the lads themselves, but also for what the players can do for the fans for next season.
Yeah. And just looking ahead to the Cup final again, Derek, on the 9th, you must be buzzing just to head up and support Cork City on the day and roar yourself hoarse for the lads.
Yeah, and I think I'm in the middle of the singing section with my
Yes,
kids
bye.
because they're bananas as fans now. I think I created monsters here. They're huge Cork City fans, and yeah, I ended up having to get tickets in the main part of the Cork City fans. So yeah, I'll enjoy that.
Are the kids aware of your status as a Cork City legend, or is it just like, oh, it's just dad, like?
Yeah, I suppose they are because they're such Cork City fans now. They're seeing, but if they weren't Cork City fans, they wouldn't have a clue. But I think the fact that they're all into it, and I think when cup finals come around, I'm put up on different things, and there's different. So they're getting to see it now when it comes to cup final time. So yeah, they have an idea, all right, Roar. I
Imagine.
remind them every now and then. Yeah,
We have to show them the videos every so often, like.
yeah.
Derek, a pleasure as always, my friend. Hopefully see you at the Aviva and fingers crossed Cork City can do it.
Brilliant, Roar. Thanks for having me.